Hi guys, so this is just a response to the video that I put out the other day about the 3 weekly grass cuts. I don't normally do response videos, but I thought I would in this case because it sparked a good little debate and there were lots of good comments, and I just thought I would. So it was filmed a couple of months ago now, 3 months ago, and I haven't watched it back. So I can't fully remember what I said specifically, but I obviously know the gist of the video. And the comments, reading through them, I agree on, I think, probably like 95% of them. So I think it depends. I don't think I said this in the video, mind. I think it depends where you're at with your business. So I haven't completed my second year yet, and I think if you have gone, 5+ years, you'll probably have a solid settled customer base. And if you lose one or two gardens, it won't be that much of a hit. So yeah, I fully agree. I wouldn't want to mess about with 3 weekly cuts then, when you don't have to. Obviously, everyone runs a businesses differently. We all have different targets and standards of living and income that we'd like to receive and things like that. But if I was 5 years down the line, I wouldn't mess about. I would say it's fortnightly or nothing. So I do agree there. Where I slightly disagree is if you're new, and especially in this current climate. I lost a customer a couple of weeks ago. He lost his job, so they couldn't afford to keep us on. That might be a trend, another trend we see sort of going on in the next kind of 6 months to a year. If obviously the economic crisis, I suppose we'll call it, continues, and we all might take a bit of a hit. So I think sort of if you're new, if you've just started, or if you're maybe in the first year or two, you might have to be a bit more adaptable, just to beef up your numbers a bit, just to get a little bit more income on board. That's me at the moment, although my monthly income's good. I'm happy with the amount I'm making. Diary wise and diary space wise, I'm probably working at about 80-85% capacity. So there is room to be getting additional customers. I work over a 2 week rota. Eight of those days are for regulars, and my Wednesdays are free for one-off work. So I can probably add, I'd have to have a look, but I can probably add an extra grass cut or something to each one of those days. So I'm maybe 10 to 12 shy of where I'd like to be. One of those 3 weekly cuts, so I've got three. One of those is my mum's partner, and it's a postage. I'm done in 15 minutes. So if he's watching, I'm quite happy continuing that way. But the rest of them, I said at the beginning, I said, look, if it grows too fast, I'll have to either up the price, or we'll have to go to go to a fortnightly cut, and they were fine. So I'm only talking about two people here, and I've talked a lot more. I've been asked quite a lot, but I've talked a lot more into getting fortnightly cuts. It's fine when the weather's dry at the minute and the grass isn't growing, but as everyone said, obviously when it's wetter weather, the grass just takes off, and yeah, I wouldn't like to do it 3 weekly then. So there may be a conversation to be had there, and we might have to agree on an increase in price, or they have to go to fortnightly cuts. I'd never do 4 weekly cuts, monthly cuts, because that'd just be ridiculous. And large gardens, I wouldn't do 3 weeklies either. It's just too much hassle. So I do agree with the vast majority of what people are saying. It's a hassle. The 2 week rota is nice for the diary. And as I say, I think it depends where you're at in your business. You're not going to bother if you're 10 years down the line and you've got a customer base which is settled, and you might lose one or two, but you might gain a few. I mean, I've gained 3 this week. I've started advertising again. I got a bit lax on my advertising, and that's taught us a lesson as well. So I'm going to continue with that. And well, I've gained 2 this week with the potential of another one I quoted for yesterday. So I'm hoping I'm going to get that. So it swings and roundabouts a little bit, but I think as we go along, everyone's kind of tightening the purse strings a little bit, and looking to cut back. And us gardeners, we might not be perceived to be by some customers as essential, so they might obviously let us go, and we might get fewer new customers. I don't know, I'm not sure. That's what I was going to ask you. So the last recession, I think, was 2008. So those of you who were working as a gardener through that time, what was your experience? So, like, did you lose a lot of customers? Did your new customers kind of slow down the rate in which you were getting them? Yeah, just pop it in the comments below. Just give us kind of like, for us new guys, you know, a rough idea of what to maybe expect if we're continuing down the same path as what it looks like we're going to head into. So that'd be really interesting and a big help, I think, for, you know, people like me who's just started out, really. So yeah, I'll cut that one there. Thanks again, everyone, for the comments. Brilliant. Supporting the channel and stuff, really good. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.